Hello, 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 ladies. Welcome back to another episode of the Create and Grow Your Dream Business podcast. As always, am super excited to come on here and chat with you ladies about any and every ways that you can move into a space that you're creating and growing your dream business, of course, in a very purposeful manner. So today's chat is going to be so amazing. I know I say all that every time, but it's because I come with amazing chats every single time. But this one is going to be even more beautiful because I have the lovely, amazing Dr. Elsie. And I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. But when I tell you guys, you're going to be amazed by the conversation that Dr. E and I are going to have. She is so marvelous. Her brain is brilliant, and her perspective of how she uses her practice in dentistry to her everyday life experiences to bloom within her business. She is such a trailblazer and a game changer for not only millennial women like you and I to look up to, but also for women of her generations to be in the space where they're continuously blooming. So if you are listening to this episode, or if you know that you have a mom who may be going through her 50-year-old life elevation, Dr. E is the woman that you must attract her to. So enough of me speaking. Dr. E, it is a pleasure to have you.
It is a pleasure to be here. My goodness, I can't follow up on that introduction. Oh my gosh, that is so wonderful. Thank you so much for the invite. My name is Dr. Elsie Casimir, and I am a general dentist by trade. And I was born in Haiti, and I migrated here when I was a little girl to Philadelphia. So if anyone listening here is have a Caribbean background or African background, you know how important it is, how they instill in you that you must be a professional. That's how you redeem the family's name. Just kidding. But so anyway, so my mom, my dad, I mean, it's very supportive and lovingly, though. It's not like you must do it, but it's just kind of like the nudge of the culture. So from a very young age, I knew that I wanted to do something in the medical field. And I picked dentistry. And so I am a general dentist, and I practice in Pennsylvania. I've had my practice for over 25 years. And I do pretty much everything. I treat kids to adults. But lately, I have been reinventing myself. And I, even in my career, because I find that I got a little burnt out with dentistry. We were doing the same old. And so I am in my second act and trying different things and new things. And dentistry, some of it is dentistry related, but others are totally different. I am a blogger, a writer, and that has always been my passion. So I'm trying to like get that started again. And here I am. I have one son. His name is Daniel, and he lives in California. And that's about it.
So interesting because you have so many like pointers that I know that the women can find relatability, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that that is so important when we talk about like growing into that phase of life, right? Growing into the next level of, okay, so I used to do this in my job, and while I was defined as that, I'm ready to do something else, right? Like that growth period that comes whether you're 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, the period of transition, right? And so I love the fact that you and I both have a passion for gardening and growing,
Yes.
flourishing. And so I would love for us to speak about how, from your point of view, how does gardening really affect your growth as a woman who's growing, who's becoming more? How does that help you? How do you see that? How did you get that perspective?
Well, with gardening, you have to plant a seed, right? And I liken it to our dreams and our goals. A seed packet, believe it or not, when you look on the outside, say you're getting watermelon or corn or something. So the seed packet doesn't have the name of the, all you see is what the final product is.
Right.
It doesn't say this is, it doesn't, so you see like the picture of the watermelon. So basically when we have our dreams and our goals in a form of a seed, it is complete. Like that particular seed has all the DNA, has everything that it needs to become what it would be. Okay. For example, an acorn becomes a
Like a
tree
whole oak
later.
tree, right?
Exactly. So it is important that as we dream, okay, as we have our goals and as we try to manifest what we want in the future for ourselves, it is important to know that it's already in there. Okay, it's completed. When you put it into the ground, there's certain work that has to be done in order to nurture it and to be able to manifest it into its final product, but it's already there.
Right.
So there may be times, so the foundation, of course, is good. For instance, I just planted some, I'm trying to do a pollinator garden in front of my house, and I just planted all these wonderful plants. However, I needed to amend the soil. I needed to get like really good soil because what I already had there, I mean, stuff do grow there, but it was like rocky. And so I had to like till it. And then the actual plant themselves, I have 8 of them. I had to get like organic soil, put that down. I had to get, I use worm casting because I want to keep my garden organic. And all the stuff is to like fortify and nurture the seed and to allow the plant to grow and be strong. So what I usually liken it to is like there's going to be deterrent. There's going to be pest, things that will get at your seed or at your plant or at your fruit, whatever product it is that you're manifesting. There is a lot at play there. For instance, like with my plants, like I have deer, a lot of deer around my house, and all they do is eat my stuff. So, so I was so mad that the plants that I planted, like, I'm like, it's too early for them to, because there's plenty of stuff out there. Like usually that when they get real hungry, like later on in the season, they would, start munching on stuff. But I came back like 2 days later, like they ate my stuff.
Wow.
It's like so bad. So the reason I'm bringing this up is like there are pests. So you're going to have things that's going to want to eat your things or destroy it or slow it down. Yeah. But as long as your foundation is strong, as long as you know that what you're planting is it's already all complete and already in there, that you have a better fighting chance.
Yes.
Okay. You have a better chance of having that particular thing come to fruition.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I also liken like blooming I love flowers. So that's what I cultivate, mostly flowers. And there's like a stage that goes through, as you bloom. So it's not like the flower just pop up and bloom. So it's a journey and it's multiple steps. So like you'll see them bloom and then like spring, and then some of the same species would again bloom again in the summer, and then they would do it again in the fall. So it's like it's a stage, it's a process. Yeah. As they continue to do that. Yeah. So we as women, no matter what stage you are, you want to give yourself the opportunity to bloom, because again, there's going to be things that will get in the way. For instance, for myself, with my story, I ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a dentist, and that's all I wanted to do. So I became that. And I enjoyed my career, don't get me wrong. I was passionate about it. But this stage of my life, I am finding that I want something new and something different.
Yeah.
So even though I still love it and I haven't completely like phased it out, but I'm giving myself opportunity to become more of what I'm doing, because you don't want to be attached to a thing.
Yeah.
I find. So it's like, okay, I'm the dentist and this is my personality. This is who I am. No, it's not who you are.
Yeah.
Your career, mother, like these titles are things that are given to you, but it's not who you are. You understand what I mean? So as a result, I am giving myself permission to dream anew, to do something different, and to allow myself to take advantage of what nature has to offer, because nature is very abundant. Like there's always like an over, if you look at it, it's like it's an overflow.
Right.
And for your listeners who have faith, I was reading Psalm 23 the other day, where it talks about like my cup overflows. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? God always gives us more. It's not like, okay, but it's like, it's always more. It's always more. And so the same thing with gardening concept, it's always more. Like there's multiplication. There is just more than what you intend, and more than what you put in. It's offering you a lot more. And so we have to take that advantage with our skill sets,
Yeah.
with our mindset, with what we've given, because we need to get advantage.
Yeah.
And I say a little bit about the mindset. That is really important, because you have to see yourself as more, and you have to strive to be more. So
You hit so you hit so many good points, and I remember them all. So now
Mhm.
like go back on them so that way we can iron out a couple, because you really talked
Sure.
about really good points. The first one that I got was, as you were speaking about the correlation between, like you said, that packet and seeing the result, right? And a part
Mhm.
of it is, as we become women who want to go to the next level, 9 times out of 10, we've already seen the result. We've seen the picture of the watermelon. So we know what it is that we can be. Imagine if, like, many of us or everybody had to be creators, right? Like inventors, where there was no light. And now you're the person trying to create light. That would be such a big thing, because you've never seen anybody create light. Or if everybody's walking and now somebody needs a car, if you've never seen a car, that would be tough. But majority of the times when we want to grow as women, we already see the result of what it is that we have to be. But like you said, I think the shift is recognizing that if we're walking in our purpose, if we're doing what we're called to be and do, there
Mhm.
will always become more. There will always be more, but here's the caveat. In order for you to get that abundance, you have to do more. You have
Yes.
to be the more that you want to see. So then I feel like that leads us right into what you were speaking about, where you were saying
Mhm.
we've all had that career, or we've all had that job, or we've all had that idea that our parents or our family or someone has put inside of our mind of what we thought we should be, or even whatever it is that we grew up to be. But what happens when that gets snatched from up under us? What happens when that's no longer the reality? And I think that's the powerful part of what you were speaking about not becoming attached to the title, because you're not that. What happens if we hit the desire, we get the more of becoming the dentist, becoming the businesswoman, becoming all of these things, and then like COVID happened, and
Mhm.
people weren't that anymore. You maybe some people
Mhm.
were mothers, and maybe their children passed away, or they were wives and their husband passed away. What happens when your reality is no longer what it was possibly yesterday? How do you pivot? And that's the connection that you and I made through Patrice, right? Of
Yes. Yes.
questioning ourselves, right? Learning to pivot, learning to change lanes so that as women, we truly can see there is more. There is
Yes.
opportunity to taking things to the next level. So powerful. That is so, so, so good. So let me ask you this question. What would you say was a sign for you when you were in your prime of your career, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the feeling that was like, this is good, but I know there's something else out there for me? Like, even before Bloom developed,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for all of that, did you get any signs, any nudges, any taps on your shoulder that told you, like, maybe not right now, but maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're not always going to be in dentistry. There's going to be something else. What did you get anything with that?
Um, I didn't get anything until later.
Mhm.
Like when I was earlier on, it's the career and the passion and working and doing. But I didn't get anything until maybe like my late 40s.
Mhm.
Um, that I started to, to start to think about possibility of doing other things. And by then, the other thing is like, when you wrapped up in raising children or things like that, like you're not thinking, you like you want to that's what you're doing now. So a lot of times it didn't give me an opportunity to think, because I was like focused on raising my family, focused on doing this and this. So it wasn't until maybe like my late 40s or something like that. Then my son at that point, like graduated and et cetera, et cetera. And then I began to really think about, getting to know me. That's the first thing.
Right.
Getting to know myself, getting to love myself, and getting to know what I want,
Yeah.
and what things that weren't serving me well, letting go of things that weren't serving me.
Yeah.
So at that point, I begin to think, maybe, dentistry is not the all in all. Maybe that's not the only career for me. Um, so, perhaps I should start looking into other things, which, caused me to make some changes in my life. I sought uh, the reason I'm on this whole path because I sought help with a coach, a financial coach, and then who, by suggesting other things and by exposing myself to like listening to podcasts, etc. Then, I stumble upon, the same, Patricia's information, and then with the help of those and the help of like changing my mindset, not just, being linear in terms of, like this is your career and then, you're gonna work till you're 70 and then that,
Right.
whatever. So it begins to give me an opportunity to like, hey, you know what I mean? I could do other things and I could use my passion that, things that I have when I was younger that I was excited about, like I mentioned with the writing, etc. I can focus on that. So they give me opportunity to, to kind of like look into other things and pursue it. That's the other thing too, because like you can think about it, but
Yeah.
if you're not doing anything about it, then it's not going to help you.
Yeah, and
So
we heard that, and we worked through that personally, when you and I work together, and even just
mhm.
ourselves in general. We know that being an information gatherer will never do anything for any of us.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's the biggest part about becoming more. I want to touch bases on one more thing
Mhm.
as
Yeah,
we mold the entire conversation together,
sure.
which is, how important do you believe it is for a woman to
Hmm.
stick to the things or go back to the things that she did enjoy in her youth,
Hmm.
that she
Hmm.
did enjoy in her childhood? How important do you feel like that is for a woman who's blooming and blossoming into more?
Oh, absolutely. It's very important because what it does, it allows you to really be fulfilled. really to examine the things that brings you joy, the things that makes you excited,
Yeah.
um the things that is a fuel, for your passion.
Yeah.
So it's very important to pursue that, because it allows you to grow as an individual, no matter what stage in life that you are. It allows you not to be stagnant.
Oh,
It keeps you excited about life, about your future, about serving others. And if you have a business, it gives you opportunity to kind of um make it grow,
yeah.
and reinvent it if you already had one, and to get more ideas and to reinvent yourself. Or if you're thinking about one, to pursue it. So I say it's really important. I know for myself, I really enjoy the opportunity, as I said before, of getting to know myself and doing things that brings me joy and passion. And it gives you perspective, different perspective, and it opens you up to be, for capacity,
Yeah.
to be able to, as you are allowing yourself to be more flexible, to be more adaptable,
Yeah.
um, then you are able, as we're talking about, to receive more and do more. Um,
So
you know.
true. That's so true.
Mm-hmm,
So I feel like if we would sum it up, if we would put it all together, I think
mm-hmm,
what our conversation is really saying is, as a woman, it's so important that we put ourselves in a space where we don't stray too far away from the things that make us feminine, from the things that make us laugh and have joy and so much love and energy within ourselves, because that is
mm-hmm,
the fuel that we need to see the new opportunities that are at hand for us. Because
mm-hmm,
we're stagnant when we're just doing the same mundane things every single day, right? Like you said, the being the mother, the being the career woman, to doing all of these things. When we become stagnant in that, we lose our creative abilities
I agree.
to,
Mm-hmm,
to have the flow of the ideas come to us. So
mm-hmm,
if we would give any of the women the tip and the advice, is to, and this is one thing I totally love about you, Dr. E, is to
mm-hmm,
go spend more time with yourself. Go figure out what's the things that you love, what makes you bloom, what makes you smile, what opportunities can put you in nature, so that way you can be at peace more with yourself. And if you're
mm-hmm,
at that transitional phase, because again, it always happens, whether you're 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, life is going to give you different transitions. So
mm-hmm.
more time with yourself, love yourself, and try something new, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I was going to say, with the gardening, one of the reasons I love to garden, not only that, it's hard work. I'm not gonna lie. Like, 2 weeks ago, I was planting some flowers. It took me literally the whole day because I had to pull weeds and I had to get my hands dirty. But the product is so worth it.
Ooh, it's so worth
So worth it. I'm
it.
seeing my flowers pop up, and that brings me joy. That really, really brings me joy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And when you talk about the weeds, I did want to say this earlier. That was a part I missed.
Hmm. Hmm.
Personally, I love correlating gardening to business and mindset,
Hmm.
because this is how I see it. Like you said, at the front of your house, there was already growth, right?
Hmm.
For the most
Yes.
part, as women, we've already grown in some type of way. We've got some job, we've got some man, we've had some child, we've grown from teenagehood, like you
Hmm.
said,
Hmm.
the flowers at the front of your house. But
Hmm.
the old version of ourselves can look rocky. It can look stony. It can have old soil, right?
Yes.
And
Hmm.
if we want the new beautiful, you cannot expect to plant new seeds in the old soil, in the old
No,
mindset, in the old
no,
energy, in the old environment, in the old.
no,
You can't expect to just plant some new flowers right
no.
over there and expect
Yes.
be beautiful, which is, like you said, the new version of ourselves is the seed, but it's already right there. So as women, I put gardening with, sometimes you gotta, like you said, till the land, which means
Yes.
changing what you watch on TV, changing who you talk to, changing
Mhm.
what you surround yourself around, digging up those old limiting beliefs that you
Yes.
have inside of your head
Mhm.
about who you can be, who you can't be, all of those things. That's tilling the land, like Dr. E had to do. And so once she did that, and like you admitted, it took you all day, right?
It
We
did, yes.
we can't expect a new result for you to become a totally new woman tomorrow just because
No.
you say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Honey, it don't work like that. You got to put the work in for the 50 pounds,
Yes.
right?
You do.
Got to put the work in. And so I like to correlate gardening with that. You got to till the land. There are going to be summer, winter, springs, and falls. There are going to be different seasons,
Yes.
different.
Yes.
You're not going to grow at the same person, at the same space right next to you just because you're a sunflower. Somebody else may be a tulip. And so
Yeah.
you may not need the same thing, right? You guys are different flowers. You may be a tree
Yes.
and a
Yes.
coconut tree, and then somebody else may be a palm tree. We look very much the same, but we aren't the same, right?
No.
So that is how I correlate gardening, and this chat was totally amazing. Dr. E, tell the women about this conference because I want to know more too. Tell them about the conference that you're going to in California, all the way from Pennsylvania, from the East Coast to the West Coast.
So actually one of our colleagues, Dr. Keisha Tates, she's the doc of health and wealth. She's a physician, and she actually uh, totally reinvent herself as well. So she's doing retreat. So she's leading this retreat in San Diego, California, at a resort called Revival on the Water. But it's really gearing to women, high impact women who really gives a lot out, and who it's time to get poured back into themselves. So basically she likened it to when you are operating from an empty cup, there's not much to give off, so it's an opportunity to get your cup refilled. And not only once you get it refilled to operate from a full cup, but to operate from the saucer, the overflow from the saucer. So it's geared to pour into women. And I will be a panelist speaker, and I'm going to be speaking the role of dentistry, the mouth to health connection. And also I'll be speaking on Bloom as well. So that's what we're doing. So it's very exciting. It's on the water, and there's going to be yoga. There's going to be healthy eating. There's going to be, so it's basically like giving yourself an opportunity to reset and to just relax and enjoy yourself. And then it's getting education and different things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. But I got there by investing in myself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share with your audience real quick
Right.
the whole thing with investing in yourself.
Yes.
And investing in yourself, it's an acronym, and they can write it down. It's INVEST. And the I stands for imagine. So the imagine is the manifestation part. It's, you're not there yet, but you see it, and it's going to happen,
Yep.
right?
Like the sea in
And
the water.
exactly. So the N is for necessary. You have to know that you need this. You have to come to the realization, not just imagining it, but I need this.
Yeah.
You know how it is, like if we need like shoes, and like if we're gonna buy something and put our mind to it, we're gonna get it.
We're
Okay.
gonna get
So you have to see this as necessary. And the V is for validate. The validate is that you are, not only that you imagine it and it's necessary, but you have to give yourself permission to say, hey, you know what? This is, I need this, I want this. And I'm giving myself permission to, to bring it to fruition, to do whatever it takes.
right.
Right. And then the easy education part. right? So you have to get knowledge, okay? You have to learn about it, however way you want, reading about it, listen to, different things, or however it is that you're going to get that information in. It's important that you educate yourself. The S stands for support. The support is where you would reach out to others. There are tons of people out here who are ready to support you, like your wonderful coach.
Right.
Be there. So I'm serious. I had to do that. I when I was at the part at the crossroad that I needed, I needed more. I needed help. I couldn't just, it wasn't enough to imagine it, to want it, but I need help,
Right.
so that's where the support comes in. It could be in the form of a coach. It could be in the form of, again, information, a class, however it is that you need that support. And the last thing in the T is that you got to be teachable, right? So, you can invest your money in going to that class or have the coach or however it is. But if you're not teachable, if you're not listening, then it's not gonna do much. You're not gonna get the result and the return on your ROI, your return on investment that you're gonna look for.
Right.
So the whole thing in investing yourself is to be able to give you the opportunity to pour into you. Not only that, to realize and know that whatever it is you're working towards, whether it's a new business or however it is that you want to improve yourself, those steps are necessary in order to get you, to where you are. So I'm saying all this to say, I went through the exact same step to be able to be sitting right here in your podcast, talking to you, not only about dentistry, but about my whole brand new reinventing myself and helping women in their 50s, reimagining themselves, reinventing themselves, and not be stuck, because at this particular age group, you can be stuck, and you might be in a situation where you don't know what to do, or there's so many things that during that time, like for instance, aging, caring for aging parents, like changes that may happen in that life. So you don't just sit there and accept it, but you have to be able to reinvent yourself. So I'm saying all this to say, I went through the process, and here I am able to sit here talking to you about Bloom, and I didn't really go into Bloom at all, but it's a platform for women that supporting women in their 50s and beyond, to be able to help them dream anew and be able. Bloom actually stands for because life offers over abundantly more. So B is for because, L is for life. So it's BLOOM, and it's to be able to put you in a position to know that, hey, listen, your life is not over, once, because some people, they dread becoming a certain age.
Yeah, no,
okay, midlife, they dread it.
Becoming 30 and 40. Like, I'll be 30 next Saturday, and then people are already like, oh my gosh, like 30. I'm like, honey, 30 is the new 13. What you talking about?
Absolutely. I agree with that. But some people dread it, but it's not the end. Listen, it's the beginning, honestly. There's so much more, because at this point there's a certain degree of freedom that comes with it, because at that point it's you don't care what people think or whatever, and there's just so many opportunities to be able to reinvent yourself and to do something new. And that got me, and part of the reinventing myself and moving away from my traditional career of being a doctor, I'm writing. I wrote my journal, Flourishing 50s, celebrating women in their 50s and beyond. It's a 5-day devotional journal. So I started there. It's going to be like a book, but I started the journal because to be able to allow women to sit with themselves, because that is so important, to get to know you, to be able to listen to yourself, and to be able, and that's one way of doing that, when you sit and you ponder and you reflect. And that allows you, as you said earlier, it opens up creativity for you and the flow, to be able to think and meditate, and to know what you're made out of, you know, and to be able to just stand strong in your foundation, and not, you know, letting things waver, like the past or the weeds or taking over your life, you know, that you know what you want and
Right.
be able to pursue that and to follow it. So
That's so beautiful. I'm telling you, this was a chat. I'm telling you, Dr. Yeah, as I move forward in life, as I always
Mhm.
empower women, you know, I'm so passionate about empowering women and confidence and things of that nature. Like, and
Yes.
it is so important that we continue to have these talks. It's so important that you, as a woman, just
Mhm.
continue to, like you said, bloom into more and push past your own personal limiting beliefs that you may have, because we all have them. They don't stop at any age. Whenever you go
No.
to that next level, the
Mhm.
ego side of you was always going to be like, are you sure you fit in over there? Are you sure you're good enough to talk over here? Are you sure you're good enough to help this woman over here? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And so we're wrapping up this conversation by knowing that we're going to continue to say yes to us blooming, yes to more, yes to life, because life offers over abundantly more. Dr. E, this chat was
Yes.
amazing.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You are so, so, so welcome. And I'm going to leave your social media links. You know, I have them all already. I'm going to
Yes.
all down below. And I'm also going to leave your invest for you ladies who love that acronym, because it's so good and you can use it in so
Mhm.
many different ways. And we're going to put the invest acronym down in the content section as well. So that way you ladies can take that note and you can run with that. For any of the ladies interested in Dr. E's journal, the journal link would be below as well. And if you enjoyed this podcast episode, please feel free to share it with a friend. Please feel free to send it over to anybody that you love, to any woman that you know is becoming more. So until next time, ladies, we'll talk to you soon.
Mhm.
See ya.